Broadcasting now. Excellent, and we're away. Hello and welcome to everybody who's joined us so far. We'll be getting underway in just a few moments' time. Excellent. Well, look, it's just turned 5 o'clock, so we'll get underway. Thank you very much for joining us in what really is truly an exciting course that's come on scope just of late, which is our dual BSB50215 Diploma of Business and BSB51415 Diploma of Project Management. With me tonight, I have Iona McKimmie and Dr. Mark Sinclair as our subject matter experts and panelists as we introduce this course and online learning as a whole to everybody who's tuning in. Welcome, Iona and Mark.
Thanks, James. Great to be here.
And likewise. Thanks, James.
You're very welcome. Now, look, for anybody who is tuning in tonight, if you do have any questions throughout, please feel free to put them to me in the chat, and I'll do my very best to put them to the panelists for you to get answers. And also bear in mind, there will be some time at the end where we'll go through some frequently asked questions. And if there's anything you don't think of, there'll also be an opportunity to ask some questions then. So without further ado, let's have a touch on the course overview itself. And it's at this point, I'm going to hand on over to you, Iona.
Thanks, James. I have to say that this is a very exciting addition to our course offerings. And it's only a recent addition. We've had this course available for around about 8 weeks now. And we're discovering as we talk with potential students that they're finding the options available, the option of doing this course to be truly relevant to their career aspirations and truly relevant to a number of the work situations that those students that are actually in work at the moment are working in. So the course encompasses a wide range of business and project management topics that we would utilise day to day in our business and our working roles and in our careers in a business context. So the course in its entirety encompasses not just project management and how to develop a project and manage a project and employ a project, but also things like working with operational and strategic plans to undertake strategic projects for an organisation. It also includes budgeting and for business as well as for specific projects budgeting, teamwork, how to work with teams, remote teams, lots and lots of great communication strategies, utilising technology to work with remote teams, and continuous improvement, of course, because as we're involved in our day-to-day business operations, continuous improvement is something that we look to quite often to implement new ideas and undertake innovative approaches to find solutions to what we need to find to maintain our competitive edge out there in the business world. Mark, can I just toss across to you to speak about strategy and continuous improvement for a moment?
Well, look, from a business point of view, this course I think is an ideal for those people working in an organisation, whether it be in operations, whether it be a leadership role or even aspiring to be a leader. It's also ideal for those thinking of starting their own business. And I say that because the units of competency, particularly from the business point of view, have a terrific focus on a broad spectrum. So review and maintain a website. They've got a strong marketing focus, evaluate marketing opportunities, monitor marketing activities. It covers HR, so manage human resource services, report on financial activities, implement administrative systems, just to name a few. And I think from a business point of view, this is a really good grounding in a course. When you combine that with a project management component, and if you think in today's landscape, working to projects, agile working, focused on identifying strategic objectives, working through them, meeting timelines, coordinating a team, those things are just paramount. So this dual diploma, I think, is just a fantastic course to provide a real good grounding for anyone in a whole range of different roles. And it's great for your CV. It's great to cement your role, your position in your current organisation, or really just to aspire towards doing more exciting, more significant things in your workplace or in your own business.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mark. Well, look, and I think what's nice about the broadness is there are so many applications, and we see a number of our students come through, and it might be their reasons for study could be to cement and build on their existing position, to take on a new role, or there's even an entrepreneurial cohort who are going about starting a new business or a small business or whatever it may be, and certainly the skill sets and competencies that come through lend themselves to that. Let's do a bit of a deep dive into the course outline itself and have a bit of a talk about some of the subjects and perhaps the reasons why we've chosen them and how they complement each other. Iona.
But as we developed this course, we very much kept in mind that there is a number of people who will be thinking about enrolling in this course to achieve different objectives. So what we've done is we've constructed the course is to look at those objectives that people had told us about. So some of those things were starting their own business, working as a business consultant, working in a project management role in a small company, being able to tie together continuous improvement and project management, and to be able to really develop strong project management skills. The other thing that we actually looked at as we've developed the course and we've made the course available is sustainability. Sustainability we focus on a lot deeper than we might have done previously, and we incorporated into all of our business practices and our operational objectives. And so we've included sustainability as well. Personal and professional development is necessary for all of us to maintain our currency in our roles, and to be able to actually take that knowledge and place ourselves into a workplace setting and utilise our project management skills as well. That's also about professional accreditations and developing our skills and our knowledge base, for example, for entry as an associate for the Australian Institute of Project Management. So there is a lead out from this course into certain levels of professional accreditation as well. So I mentioned before that continuous improvement is something that we consider as a day-to-day practice now, as is working with remote teams, reporting, but also being able to undertake small and large projects and place those into a business context. So, and to be able to draw on our skills and knowledge of business systems and a range of technology. And it's fair to say that no project is ever successful without a good project team and without all of the people in a project team. So the other wonderful part about this course is that we've actually included a HR focus into the course as well. So, students are able to develop their ability to select and recruit appropriate people for project teams, but also for day-to-day business operations as well.
Excellent. Look, I mean, and certainly that human resources component is becoming more and more important because it just applies to so many sections of business. Let's do a bit of a jump now over into the industry itself and have a talk to perhaps some of the potential jobs that are out there. And then, of course, we've got some information from seek.com.au on what the job outlook looks like for, I suppose, general project management. And just one example there, of course, was office management. Now, we did identify earlier on that it does extend to a whole myriad and range of leadership and management roles, certainly not just the office management role, but it certainly, I think, identifies the sort of growth that we can expect to see in these leadership positions, but also the demand that's happening out there in the industry. In talking to the potential jobs market, I'm going to hand on over to you. I mean, skill sets certainly around, say, project management and business management. For senior managers, you know, middle level managers, project officers, even small business operators, how valuable are they and why are they important to have?
Is that to me, James?
It was indeed, yeah, absolutely.
I beg your pardon, sorry. Look, look, at the end of the day, we're all working in agile teams these days. We're all focused on projects. We're all focused on achieving goals, strategic initiatives. You know, there's no doubt there's business as usual within an organisation, but more and more we're focused on changing the organisation, improving efficiencies, taking costs out of the organisation, effective team building and management. Whatever the strategic initiative, and you know, in challenging times such as these are not just strategic initiatives, they're imperatives. We're all going online. You know, in the last 3 months, we've achieved the same growth in online sales as we did in the last 3 years. And that trend is just escalating. There are a number of trends like that, and organisations, to be competitive, reposition in these challenging times, are really focusing on key things that will make a difference in a short period of time. And the units that we've talked about, you know, managing teams, the HR component, because it's all about people and achieving outcomes, is critical, and really focusing on those outcomes. And project management skills are part of that. Reporting on progress to date, reporting, you know, identifying resources required to achieve goals, participating in that, understanding plans, initiating them. They're all just part and parcel of the future of work. And you know, this course is a great opportunity, a great start to develop the base skills that are needed to really contribute within your organisation, within your own business, or in the organisation that you want to move towards. It's a great course.
Excellent, thank you very much. Now, let's talk about the actual learning material itself. Iona, you're heavily involved, obviously, in, I suppose, the course design and identifying the most appropriate, you know, learning material for students. What can, I suppose, those who take up the course expect?
I think just to lead into talking about the learning material, it's worth me sort of talking to everybody about some management approaches that we have included in the course. In the last, let's say, 8 to 10 years, just as a general comment, we've had a move from transactional leadership styles to transformational leadership. And one of the things that we do in this course is we look at that transformational leadership and projects, and how by adopting that management style and adopting project management techniques such as Lean, we often hear now about Lean management approaches, which is an approach that is a project management approach. We hear about agile projects, we hear about agile teams, and all of these are project management methodologies that we've actually incorporated into some of the business units. So to lead into the learning materials, that's a wonderful lead in. So what the course itself is has full textbooks provided. It has learner guides, it has slides. We also provide live tutorials one-on-one with, live tutorials in groups with a trainer weekly. There's also other learning materials such as audio files, a video, and templates that are populated with examples, so students can actually develop an appreciation of the documentation that's required in each different aspect of the course. So the other thing that's available too is peer discussion forums in some units. And so all of the learning materials for the course are provided with the course. There's no additional cost for the student. And the project management software that a student would utilize throughout the course is also provided.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. So let's have a little bit a look at the online learning experience. Now, Mark, you were involved with mentor education in its inception in 17 years, and certainly the online education space and the way it's delivered has changed a lot since then. I mean, students who go on to take an online course on today, certainly through mentor education, what does their online experience look like, and what are some of the requirements, certainly from their end, to engage the best way they possibly can?
Well, thanks, James. Look, right at the beginning, you know, if I go back all the way to 2002, 2003, we've always been focused on student needs and student outcomes. And right at the beginning, I really wanted to make sure that our course material was concise, easy to understand. Assessments were intuitive. You know, didn't have to scratch your head and think, you know, what is it that people want? Understand the amount of work that was required for each of the assessments. Make sure we had good support. That's at two major points. One, on choosing the course, making sure it's the right course for you. So we've got a really highly skilled education advice team that really wants to know what your outcomes are and help you decide, look at the options and decide what is the very best course for me to achieve my objectives over the timeline or the time frame. The next stage, of course, is once you enroll and you've got access to learning management system, which you can see in front of you, it needs to be intuitive, easy to understand. But look, when you do get stuck and you need support, it's there for you. And equally, when you submit something, right, you want some feedback. Equally, you want, you know, if you need to improve in a particular area, you want to just understand how that's going to be done. So look, it's really about making sure that the student experience throughout the whole student life cycle is a quality one at each one of the touch points, each one of the moments where, you know, sometimes you can get frustration. We work really hard to try to reduce those points. Doesn't mean we've got it perfect. And there's, you know, we're always really keen to get feedback from students where we can improve in different areas. But look, over the 17 years, we've gone from distance learning really to online learning, probably as quickly as we possibly could, more quickly than most of our competitors, right? In the, 15 years ago, we were really very directly online, and it pays dividends. There's a lot of learning, a lot of lessons we've learned along the way, and we've incorporated that in a really good student experience. And I think we're really pretty proud of the process, and it gives good outcomes. You know, the completion rate that we've got for our programs is pushing on the 90%, which is, really quite exciting. And equally, the job outcomes, which means that the courses are relevant, and it's what the industry wants, and it helps achieve our goals of promotion or pay increase or moving into a new role or starting your own business. They're being achieved. So I think it's a great process. We make it really flexible. We allow people to start at different times depending on the program. Sometimes we do work in cohorts, starting at a particular intake time, but we do try to make it flexible, and we do give good support.
Excellent. And I think what's great about certainly the online learning experience through Mentor is the LMS, or the learning management system as it's called. And really all you need is a reasonable internet connection, a laptop, a browser, something like Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatever it may be. You log into a website and all of the information in your assessments are there for you. And I think what's even, certainly if you're commuting, or there might be times that you want to do a little bit of reading in bed or on the couch, it does also link in with your tablet or your phone there as well. So certainly the laptop is going to be the preferred platform, or the PC for typing up assignments or whatever it may be, but certainly being able to do the reading on multiple devices is a real advantage there as well when it comes to the online learning experience. And what's more, you can do it in your own time, and that could be 3 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. Now, the assessments themselves, and that's always an area we get a lot of questions, and we know students are particularly interested in this part of the presentation. Iona, I'm going to hand on over to you to talk about how we assess our students in this very exciting dual diploma of ours.
I have to say, James, that this is always the first question that most people ask. What are the assessments in the course? So throughout the course, there's a number of different types of assessment. There's this long, frightening list here that goes from multiple choice to self-reflection exercises. In no unit would you ever experience all of these. In most units, there is 2 or 3 different types of assessment, and usually there's a mix of assessments. So you might, for example, develop a project plan, answer some multiple choice questions, and answer some short answer questions. You may actually be asked to do case study responses. Also within the course, there's a number of learning activities as well that are self-directed activities that relate to the text and also relate to the video. So you may also be asked to watch a video, create a checklist, watch a video and reflect what's in the video and relate it to your own situation or a situation that you may think that you'll be in the future. So there's a number of different tasks that appear at different times in the course. With the project management units in this course, students are actually, as part of their assessment process, they also develop project plans, business use cases. There's project scope documents. In the business units, there's budgets that students are involved in developing as part of their self-directed learning activities. But as I said before, we would never ask a student to do one of each of every single one of these in an assessment. It is usually a combination of 2 or 3 of these different types of assessment tasks in all assessments.
Excellent, thank you very much. Now, in order to complete this qualification or these 2 qualifications, students have really anywhere between 12 and 18 months. And throughout that period of time, there's a whole range of support services available to them. Mark, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the support services that are available to students and how they might actually get in touch with them?
Well, look, there's a number of ways to get in touch with the support team. Clearly, the most efficient is by email. We clearly articulate what is required. There's a ticket that we generate, which tracks the time we receive your request and the time that it's resolved. We ask you at the end of the ticket to tell us whether you're happy or not with the interaction, and we track very closely the satisfaction rates, which usually push up at the high 90% rate. But we're very particular about making sure that we do provide the support that you want in that process. You can book a time to speak with an assessor as well, and we encourage that. But look, at the end of the day, it is self-paced, and the best support we give is making sure that the course material is clear, the assessments are unambiguous. There's no trick questions. We don't try to trick you. We really just try to understand clearly that you know the material, but more than that, you can apply it. We try wherever we can to ask you to apply it to your own circumstances so that there's a takeaway. You know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You do your assessment, get your qualification, but hopefully you're also applying it in your workplace or your future job, your, you know, the business plan for your new business, whatever it might be. We want it to be practical, and we want you to just think about how to apply it, because at the end of the day, this is all about job outcomes. We're just focused on making sure we achieve the goals that you set for yourself in the time frame that you set it.
Excellent, thank you very much. Now, Iona, we've just had a question come in, and that was, how many hours a week would I have to dedicate to complete the course in that 18-month time frame?
Thank you, James. As the course is self-directed or self-paced, we find that most students work their way through the course between 12 to 18 months. But that, of course, does vary with each individual. It depends on how much time a person has to commit to their study. And we find that if a student undertakes between 15 and 20 hours a week, it will take them 12 to 14 months to complete the full course.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now, we've jumped the gun a little bit here, so if anybody's got any questions, there's a good chance we may have covered it for you. But what I'll do is I'll take the liberty of going through these for you. And Iona and Mark, if anything comes to mind, certainly feel free to jump in. But one of the questions we often get asked is, can I get government funding? And the answer to that is no. Because certainly things that we are mindful of are students racking up student debts, and government debts and things like that, and keeping our prices affordable and effective and reasonable for students is certainly at the forefront of our mind. In response to that, which really goes on to answer the second question about payment plans, is we do have payment plans available for students. So if there is a concern about paying for the whole course up front, certainly speak to one of your trusted advisors, your educational advice team members, and they can certainly assist you and look into your circumstances and find the most appropriate way to make that work. When
James,
can I start? Yeah,
James, I was just going to, if I can jump in for a sec, I was just going to say, our focus has been for a long time on really cost-effective courses that give really strong outcomes for students. So we really work hard at making it competitive. And look, from an ethical point of view, sometimes we look at government funding initiatives and there's usually an upfront fee, the amount of debt that might be accrued. We, 9 times out of 10, feel that it's in the student's best interest to focus on the cost-effective nature of the courses and either do a payment plan or pay upfront, because really a lot of our courses can quite often up to 1/10 the cost of an equivalent university unit of competency or course. So.
Excellent. Yeah, and look, that'll actually go on to answer one of our next questions, which often comes up, and that's, is it nationally recognised?
Look, all our programs are nationally recognised. So whether they're a full qualification or a unit of competency or a skill set, we ensure that we're that they are nationally recognised, and that has a number of advantages. One, that it allows, firstly, it's recognised by recruiters and employers and the like. 2, it allows for pathways to other programs, whether you go from the diploma to the advanced diploma, whether you then go across to do a bachelor or degree program. They're mapped because they're nationally recognised. We follow that stringently.
Excellent, excellent. Now, one we often get asked, Iona, and I'm going to hand on over to you, and is it all included, and do I have to pay anything extra for textbooks or assessments or anything like that?
No, we don't have to pay anything extra. Everything that a student needs to complete the course is included for the student. There is no additional charges for examinations or assessments. And there is no additional charges, for example, for software subscriptions or anything like that. Because mentor education supports access and equity to students in all circumstances from all walks of life, we make all of these, all of the learning materials available as part of the total course cost. It, as part of our access and equity policy, we support students in this way. So they're able to study nationally mandated courses from our national training packages that are recognised not just here but in a number of other countries in the world, and we make that available to all students. Excellent.
Now, one thing that we briefly touched on but haven't really delved too deep into is the different study options that we have available. Now, and this is certainly new for this course, but something that we've been doing for a long time, and that's the virtual classrooms and virtual tutorial experience, where you can interact not just with your tutor, but also your cohort and other students in the class. Talk to us a little bit about, I suppose, the virtual tutorial and what that experience looks like. And, you know, I suppose what a student can expect from being in what is a virtual classroom.
Okay, so we like to refer to it as 360 degree. So it's full circle. You're not just in, for example, a classroom. You're not studying by yourself in an isolated room. You have access to your tutor each week, and you're able to interact with other students in the course in a live, real-time environment. We find that in a number of courses, when students are studying remotely, that isolation can often be a barrier to learning. So to support students and to support students' professional development and opportunities, and to support students to develop a peer network while they're studying, which is incredibly important. And then that peer network moves with the student out into the workplace. So there is that peer network remains as part of the student's working life, following on from their study life. So, excuse me. So the study option that's available here in this course is, the course is supported by weekly live tutorials for all units. It's on a cycling timetable, so students will actually have more than one touch point with the tutor for each unit of study that they undertake. And they're able to develop that peer network and in that real live environment rather than recorded webinars that they can watch anytime later on. So we do encourage all students to attend the live webinars and to actually participate in any interactive activities, but also to stay in contact with us as well as their educators. And so it becomes, if you like, a full learning experience that isn't just single dimensional. It's not just reading a book and responding to written questions. So there's the opportunity there to actually be interacting with the tutor and to be interacting with other students.
Excellent. So just to confirm, I mean, this isn't a pre-recorded webinar or session. I mean, this is live in the classroom, chatting with your lecturer, your tutor, your other classmates.
Well, funnily enough, James, at 1:30 this afternoon, I was in a tutorial with around about 35 students who are in Diploma of Project Management units as either part of the dual course or the single diploma course. So yes, you will see my face in your live tutorials talking to you just as I'm talking to you now. It is a really special environment, I must say, and a very rewarding environment to actually learn in, to actually have that contact with a living, breathing person as your educator or your tutor, as against watching a recorded webinar, which can be quite isolating. So yes, we're finding that students are, since we've introduced live webinars to all of our courses, we've found that students have really benefited from that interaction with their peers, as well as with the educator that's working with them to support them through the unit of competence.
Excellent. And I understand we've got a number of special enrolment fees available as well for students who would like to upgrade to that. And it's just a matter of getting in contact with your educational advice team member and asking them about it, and certainly letting them know that they tuned into tonight's student information session. Now, are there any prerequisites? I mean, do I have to have done a diploma before to get involved in this particular course?
Okay, we do encourage applicants or applicants for entry for the course that have completed year 10 or above or the equivalent, but not to worry if you haven't. Please speak to the education advisor. There are other pathways for entry into the course, and prerequisites for the actual specific courses themselves. There is no need to have completed any certificate at any level or previous study for entry to these courses. They're open entry courses.
Excellent. And look, I think we will and truly covered the how long do people take to finish. So that's the frequently asked questions, which gives me an opportunity to answer one that has come in. And that's, what would my options be after I finish this course?
So there's a number of pathway options available for students that, as they finish the dual diploma of business and project management, they're able to move forward into the advanced diploma of management, the advanced diploma of human resources, or into the graduate certificate of IT and strategic leadership. These two courses are all pathway courses for those study streams, and we encourage students to consider enrolling to continue their studies at the end of the course and to fully develop their skills and knowledge in their chosen area for their future career.
Well, look, it really is lifelong learning these days, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing getting a qualification, but maintaining currency of knowledge and qualifications is something else. And certainly keeping your skill set and yourself relevant to the employment and labour market is something that everybody needs to be certainly mindful of these days. Now, before we close tonight's student information session off, Mark, is there any closing comments that you'd like to make for anybody out there who might be considering this dual qualification, or certainly any of the other courses that we have available through Mentor?
Well, look, it goes back to what I said about previously about really being clear about the objectives that you want to achieve, the job outcomes, the work outcomes, the business outcomes that you want to achieve. And I'm a big fan of killing 2 birds, even 3 birds with 1 stone if you can. And that is, you know, try to get that promotion, try to move into a leadership role, aspire to do that. But at the same time, identify the operations plan in your business, the business plan, a marketing plan, whatever it might be, and really look to see how the new skills that you develop can add value to your workplace. Because as soon as you envisage and align your objectives with the organisation's objectives, the stronger your prospects are in that organisation. Firstly, to really enjoy your work, get satisfaction from it, but really to add value to your organisation. And that's really important. And look, the only other thing I would say is, from a study point of view, you know, you identify your objectives, but you also just allocate time to the study. You know, you figure out what's the best time that I can allocate to doing it. You know, my case, I would just turn up to work an hour earlier, or I would do an hour before work started on a weekday, and some time on the weekend as well. Quite often I studied when I had young kids or whatever it might be, and I would do it when it was appropriate for the family. You can find the time, you manage that, you plan for it, and the outcomes are really rewarding. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you as a future student mentor.
Excellent, thank you very much. And Iona, over to you for any closing comments.
I would encourage anyone considering this course to seriously consider enrolling in it. It provides an opportunity for any course participant that moves through the course and completes the course to broaden their opportunities as far as career development, as far as re-employment is concerned, or even if it's a lifestyle decision and a person is considering their 2nd or 3rd career across their working life. It does provide a great basis for working as a consultant, working in project management, or working in strategic leadership, business analysis, and a number of other fields as well. There is a lot of work up. There will be, according to the labour market statistics that we have access to, we know that there is a lot of opportunity in the next 5 years for people to gain meaningful, stable, secure employment, so they're not at risk of underemployment, as there is some risk in some other industries. So I would genuinely encourage people to consider enrolling in the course and have a chat to our education advisors. And I wish everybody luck with their future careers.
Excellent, thank you very much. Well, that's all we've got for you tonight on the dual qualification student information session. But if you'd like more information on this course, head on over to mentor.edu.au. Leave your information via email, or certainly feel free to give us a call direct, and what you'll be able to do is speak to one of the educational advice team members. So once again, thank you very much for your time tonight, and we look forward to seeing you as a student soon, and quite possibly in one of our live tutorials. Until then, have a great night, everybody. See you later.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, James. Thank you, Mark.
Bye, everyone.